On today's episode of The Past Monk Presents, I've got a very special guest with me joining today. Please welcome David, who is the SR Search Engine Marketing Manager for the Get Smart Group. Now, for all of you who don't know, the Get Smart Group, they work with businesses of all sizes to help them create growth plans and becoming partners in their success. They want you to think of them as, your business engineers. You've got a problem with a small area or need to completely rebuild or even build from scratch. They're here to map out a path for you. David, thank you so much for joining us today. It's an honor to have you on our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So for all of our listeners out there, tell us, what is the Get Smart Group all about?
The Get Smart Group is a digital marketing agency. Most of our clients are in the at-home recreation, pool, and spa industry. So that's hot tubs, pools, swim spas, chemicals, services, and we help them get clients, retain their clients on the front end, and then really we're a full agency from front to back. So we'll set up their CRM, their websites, everything, and make sure they have good lead follow-up. That's something that's often non-existent in the industry, and so we're helping remedy that. Awesome.
No, thank you for giving me an overview and walking me through as to the clients that you mainly serve, and also what are like the problems that you solve for your clients as well. Now, since we're on the topic of your clients, how do they typically find your company? What is your top client acquisition channel? Is it mainly through digital marketing, inbound, through references, word of mouth, partnerships? What is it?
Interestingly, even though we're a digital marketing company, most of our clients have usually found us at the trade shows. Ooh. And so for years, it was the CEO speaking at the trade shows, and then the team going out there and meeting with people at the booths. But as time has grown and we started doing for ourselves what we do for our clients, we've started getting more through online channels as well. But really, it's been trade shows has been the key for the longest time. And now we're getting more and more through. Now that we're doing digital marketing for ourselves, it helps.
Awesome. Love to hear that. So now we're going to talk about the website. So what would you say are the major strengths of the Get Smart Group website? And what are opportunities for areas of improvement on the website?
The key strengths, there's some really good content. It's easy to use and it's very sleek. That's been my favorite thing. The web team has done a great job of making it easy to navigate. And there's a lot of good information. The biggest weakness I would see is that as we're working on all of the stuff for the clients, a lot of times we don't update our own stuff as fast as we need to. And so whenever there's time constraints, sometimes our own site is often the last one to get the updates, if you will, of new content and new pieces coming out. So I would say that's probably the biggest weakness I notice is sometimes I'll go through and realize, we just haven't updated those little things that on our own site. We do it for the clients, but we forget to do it for ourselves. So that'd be the biggest weakness I see right now on it. There's always things we can do to improve, but that's the big one for me. We just need to get in and do our own work on our own site.
Yeah, definitely. But I looked at the website and it's really great. The one aspect I really loved was the case studies you guys provided.
That I'm really happy that those were able to be put together because they're very informative and they're helpful for anyone on the buyer journey. They can see how our company can help them out.
Yes, exactly. So now we're going to switch gears here and we're going to talk about you as a leader. So I know you've been with the company for quite some time and you've been able to see the growth and, with jumping into new projects. So how does the average day look like for you?
It's hard to say an average day, I would say, at least throughout that time, yeah. Because I've been through quite a few different roles here. But I would say right now it's shifted. The longer I've been in management, the less just regular day-to-day tasks as far as the marketing part that I'm doing. It's more high level. It's more training other people, getting them started. And a typical day for me now is just answering a lot of questions or jumping in and finding solutions for new things. Like I would say a day-to-day thing right now is me figuring out all that's happening with the new GA4 analytics that's shifting up. The shift is coming upon us. So for the last couple of months, a lot of my day has been consumed in making sure all of our resources and tools are going to keep working and keep going for our clients' sake, because they rely on that data. We rely on the data to make decisions. So day to day, right now, that's where I'm deep diving. But in a normal time, I'm more heavily in the PPC side, and then just managing and keep making sure all of my team has everything that they need to keep going.
Yeah, definitely. I could tell, you're very passionate about, being there to empower your team, and how can you, help solve these any potential roadblocks that may come up, and how can you be able to cultivate that as well, a healthy environment.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I'm only one person, so I know that I don't want to be a log jam.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So we're getting close to the end of our interview now, and I'm going to send you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I think so. We'll find out.
Yes, we will. But you got this. What is the last book that you read?
Okay, that's actually a very difficult question because I read a lot of books.
Okay, then.
I actually think. Do you want the last one I completed, or just the last one I was reading in?
Give me both. Yeah.
Okay, so the last one I completed was a very old Star Wars book called The Last Command. It was a novel. And the most recent book that I read out of was last night, called The Orthodox Survival Guide. So it was from a conference that was just compiled into a book.
Oh, super cool. All right. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I've read that book, The Last Command.
It's a good book.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites. All right. So if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed in your role today as a marketer?
You say fix in my role or world?
Yeah, in your role today.
Oh, if there were no boundaries, I don't know. That's a tough question. It would be nice to be able, I have a remote team. So, I mean, if we could do like teleportation or something, I would love to be able to meet with that, not really teleportation, but if I was able to actually meet with my team in person more often, rather than only flying and all of that, that would be very helpful for like client meetings too. We could have our team come together and just meet with a client suddenly. Like, so if Zoom allowed us to meet in actual person and not just via video, that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
I hope that is in the right vein, but if there was really no boundaries, that's what I would want.
I love it. All right. What is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart at this company again?
I would probably tell myself not to obsess about trying to learn everything about marketing, because you can't know everything about everything. No, keep learning, do your best to always be learning, but just realize it's impossible for one person to know all of the facets about everything. I know I spent a lot of times like, I have to go know this, and I have to know this, and I have to know that. And some of it was helpful, but a lot of it was just unhelpful to me at the time, because I overwhelmed myself more than actually helped myself in some of those periods. So I tell myself, don't try to know everything about everything.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good advice too. Like, focus on, what is going to be realistic for you within your role right now. And then anything extra you want to learn, being able to put that on the side and say, okay, I can be able to learn this, later when I need it, or when I have like time more interest in it.
Exactly. Kind of sticking to what's important and very vital. There's so much information out there.
Yeah, there's so much, definitely. So we're coming to the end of our interview today. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us on PathMonk Presents. But I also want to give you the last word. If someone were to forget about everything we've talked about in this interview today, what is the one thing you want them to remember about the Get Smart group overall?
The biggest thing that I want them to remember is that when we're working with our clients, it's very much a partnership. So we feel like it's almost like a family when we're working together. So we value very much making money for their business and growing them. So it's a neat relationship we have with our clients. So that's kind of the biggest takeaway I'd have, is we really are driven by business and growing them, but we love the family type of friendship that we can have with a client as we're growing their business and ours together.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think that's great too. And especially for, for all marketers to know where, your relationships is what helps you be sustainable. And by having these relationships, it'll open like more opportunities and more doors, so you'll be able to network with more people as well in the future.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. And for all of our listeners out there, check us out next week on PathMonk Presents.